Hello, everyone. Good evening. I have a very special guest with me, Siam Phaipi, who Siam Phaipi needs no introduction because we all know who he is. He was practicing at the Manipur High Court. He studied law from one of the best law schools of the country, in fact, and he was practicing at the Manipur High Court. And after the trouble started in Manipur, the violence started. He is now practicing at the Supreme Court, and he is legally very sound, because obviously when you are well educated in a field, you're bound to excel over there. He's extremely hurt, pained, and very upset about what's happening in Manipur, like all of us are. I am, though I may not have blood relatives in Manipur, but I do not consider myself, I say in colloquial Manipuri language, or in colloquial, so to say, Maithili language, I might be a Mayank, but I don't consider myself from outside an outsider. I feel I am very much an insider. I may not be that I accept. I may not be an indigenous person, but I certainly feel for everyone from Manipur. So without any further ado, let's go on and let's speak to our dear friend over here, Sam. Hi, Sam. Jai Hind, and thank you very much for spending time, brother.
Yeah, yeah, no issue.
Thank you, Sam. So, Sam, just tell us a bit about your judicial experience. Where did you, if you don't feel like, if you are comfortable about it, where did you study law and such things, and you came about, and when did you start practicing at the Manipur High Court?
So I finished my law school in West Bengal, Kolkata, and in National University of Geopolitical Sciences (NUJS) from 2008 to 2013. So I graduated in 2013. We were the first batch of CLAP, you could say that as well. That common law admission test. No, we were the first batch.
Right. So tell me, you were practicing in Manipur High Court, and from which year to which year did you practice at Manipur High Court?
Manipur High Court, I've actually initially I was practicing in Delhi after my graduation. Then I had to go back to Manipur in around the mid of 2017 because my dad was feeling unwell. In January 15, 2018, my father passed away. So that's when I decided to be back home because my mother I would say, used to run a school in Imphal. Used to because that has also been burned down. My home was also burned down, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I used to practice at the High Court of Manipur. Then, after this incident, since there's no way of going back, I'm in Delhi right now, so that there may be something I could do in Delhi.
I'm very sorry, brother. I'm very sorry. I know I can imagine the kind of deep pain you must be feeling, and everyone is really pained about our own people, our own brothers and sisters, and our own in Manipur that's happening. And in fact, you spoke about your mother's school being burnt. And where were you at that time when this was happening?
When this was happening, I believe around 25th of April or 26th of April, I decided to go on a trip on a vacation because the summer vacation was starting for the school as well. And when in my free time, when I don't have like cases and all, I used to help in like helping my mother look after the school and all as such. So since there was a vacation and all, so my cases as well, I took dates so that I could go on the vacation. And I was in when this happened on 3rd May 2023. I was in Thailand at that time.
Right. So, and you have been practicing at the Manipur High Court as well. And, when I had the honor of interviewing the working president of the Mighty Scheduled Tribes Demand Committee, and a former colonel from the army. And he told me that apparently they were fighting this battle of getting the Mighty status for the last 10 years. And they were struggling with it, and now apparently it came about. So tell me a bit about the structure of the Manipur High Court. You have seen it from close. You have worked there, and if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I am wrong. Justice Muralidharan was there. It was a single member judge when when he gave the ruling. Am I right or wrong in that? In understanding that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's the acting chief justice right now.
So could you tell us a bit about the functioning of the Manipur High Court? Because I was there in 2005 as a service officer, and 2005 2008 I at least I maybe Zarurat nahi padi or whatever. I didn't find the requirement, but I don't remember the High Court being there at that time.
The Manipur High Court was established in 2013 in Manipur.
Okay, that's why. That's
So
how I don't.
before that it used to be Guwahati, the jurisdiction. Yeah, so if you're talking about the case in particular, I believe we don't really need to delve into that much because the Supreme Court has also been very clear on what judgment was passed. Because I believe I heard the Chief Justice also say that if the High Court does not follow the Constitution, what do we do? He gave a remark like that. Because on that day I was inside the court as well when he made that remark. So yeah, so even the if you're talking about the judgment in particular, first of all, I've never seen such a judgment pass that fast because it was pretty quick. I believe it was within what 2 weeks, 15 days, and then I believe the SP demand and all was way back in 2013, where they had ample time to do whatever is required. So suddenly this suddenly started coming up. So yeah, so I didn't really follow that much about it before, even because even the one in the Supreme Court, nobody knew about it, and everybody knew about it after it was passed. So nobody could even like file an objection or anything like that with regards to the order that was passed.
Tell me when Justice Muridharan was in the single member judge. It was when he was in the High Court, and you did not know that time that this case was there in the court in the High Court, and you had no involvement with it at all.
No, no, yeah, that's what's really surprising. Like we didn't know about it. At least people from the like Naga and Kukizo community, we really didn't know about it because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, all the petitioners were Meiteis again, and all the respondents who are from the government side are also Meiteis again. So yeah, that's the thing. And I don't really think any tribal actually represented like had any time to file the objection. And as far as I know, as far as the people from the community goes, nobody knew about it until the order was actually passed. And after that,
So
of course, the ITLF and all they organized like that peaceful rally on 3rd May.
right. So there's a comment for you. You can read over there. In fact, it is Tilming Thang Meet who's read well said Siam. In fact, Tilming Thang is a Tadao speaking cookie name, if I'm not mistaken, if my understanding is correct. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you seem to know. Yeah, yeah. I believe you might know more about Manipur than me as well because
that, no,
I've also I mean, very few people knows about these things. No, I mean, I've seen there was one I remember one protest in Boston, if I remember correctly. They made a poster, and they were trying to support the Kukizo community, and they put a poster of the Mera Pibis in the poster.
oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay, I understand.
So yeah, that happened, and then
I
and then I had to say, okay, these are not people, these are not the Kukizo women. I had to tell them.
oh God, I mean, this is something you because this is like this is something I feel annoyed many times. People when they do not know where a beautiful state like Manipur is. I was having an argument with somebody recently. He was trying to tell me that Manipur is where I think I told you on the phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
In
was like,
Assam.
yeah, no, 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 not in Assam. I mean, ये बोलता तो I could have argued with him further on कि भाई 1972 only वो disintegrate हो गया था Assam से. It was formed a sovereign state and Maite Bengal. In fact, Muhammad Ali Muddin was the first chief minister at that time in 1972. The guy told me Manipur is in Guwahati. अब क्या बोलेगा ऐसे आदमी को यार? What can you even say? I mean, you have no words. That's the only thing, no words. Okay, so tell me when this. So the Supreme Court judge, Justice Muridharan, he ordered the government that the Maites should get a scheduled. tribe status. Am I right?
Not exactly. He asked them to forward the recommendation to the
Okay.
central. It's not that
So,
uh,
so what I understand, he told them to forward the recommendation only so far. And has the
uh,
recommendation been sent?
as far as I know, I believe the Manipur government took another 1 year for extension, if I remember correctly, the last time I heard of it. So I don't know what happened after that to consider the application or the order.
All right. Okay. So now the very fact is there were protests in fact, I believe on 29th of or 31st of April itself, there were protests and in Chashanpur. And 3rd May, the violence broke out, in fact. That's what I got to understand. And but anyway, irrespective of what happened, right now the situation is very tense, and the Chief Minister, Mr. N. Brain Singh, has appealed that forgive and forget. I know it's easier said than done. I know it is the wounds are too deep. So, what do you make out of that statement?
Uh, it's very difficult to forgive when no one is asking for forgiveness, and I believe it's impossible to forget, at least for the next few years. So there's that. And if it's like a mistake, you can always at least say, okay, fine, forgive and forget. But at this point, it's not a mistake anymore. It's intentional. I mean, that's pretty clear from all everything that's happening. So it's very, uh, I would say it's at this point, it's just impossible to forgive and forget when there's absolutely no one seeking forgiveness.
Here's a comment for you again. Edward writes, "We are proud of you, Siam. More power to you." So you have a lot of people, a lot of admirers, in fact. That's some Phaipi who has a lot of admirers in Manipur and outside Manipur as well. In fact, again, if I may use the term Mayank, I know a lot of Mayanks who speak very highly of you. In fact, brother, they were speaking very, very highly of you. A lot of people. So you seem to be very, very popular. In fact, I must say,
I have no idea about that.
right. So now tell me how can we actually get peace? We can. What do you think? What are your recommendations to actually get peace in a beautiful state like Manipur?
Uh, I would say peace. See, for peace to come, first of all, those I would say those looted arms is a very very big issue. I mean, if you go sit, if you are planning to go negotiate peace, and there's like thousands and thousands of arms floating around, it's like trying to talk about peace with those thousands of arms and all pointed to your head. It's like talk for peace or else. It's like a threat. I mean, there has to be accountability in every form. Unless there's accountability, I mean, it's very difficult to progress towards peace. If there's a criminal roaming around everywhere, and then you're talking about peace, I hardly believe anybody can actually find peace when there are those criminals like roaming around so freely. Yeah, and at least in my opinion, to have peace, such things like that, I believe peace comes with certain, I would say, requirements. Because for peace, I believe you will need that safety, and you need that security as well. Now, I don't believe. I mean, it's been 106, what 106 days, and if you can't provide that safety and security in 106 days, I mean, it's very difficult to even start talking about peace or like start planning to live with them or forgive and forget or things like that. It's easier. It's easy to say, but it's very difficult to do it, I would say.
Right. So tell me if I am if my information is correct. I believe there have been 6,500, almost 6,500 FIRs in the last 3 months in Manipur.
Uh, uh, Honestly, I thought it was less.
Okay.
I thought it was less because I mean, there's at least from my community, there's like around what 15,000 in Mizoram itself, and there's so many other places as well. So I
How many
mean,
from Mizoram?
I believe approximately 15,000 or the last I heard. So right now I'm not sure about the exact. The last time Mizoram government they came out with some kind of notification, I think it was around 15,000 or possibly maybe 14,000 or somewhere around that. But it's above 10,000, that's for sure. And that's
Oh,
just in Mizoram.
only in Mizoram.
Yeah, that's only in Mizoram.
Those
This
are
excludes other
FIRs.
places.
Those are FIRs against the Mizo people,
No, 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 no.
right?
What I'm saying
No.
is there's internally displaced people, more than 10,000 people in Mizoram.
No, 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 no,
So
no,
the
no, no.
fact,
I'm talking about FIR, FIR.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first
that's what I'm
investigation
saying.
report. No, the
Haha,
displaced
that's
people, no, definitely. That goes much, much more, of course. That I know.
haha,
I'm talking about
that's why I'm
FIR.
saying. That's why I'm saying the 6,000 FIRs was less according to me, as I said. There are many heinous crimes, but pretty much you've been chased out of your home. You've been chased out of your home just because you belong to a certain ethnicity. So I believe everyone should be. That's a crime in itself. It's not
Right.
necessary that your house. It's not necessary that your house has to be burned to be a crime. I think no one has the right to chase you out of your home like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
It happened in the 90s, in the early 90s in Kashmir with the Kashmiri Pandits. Unfortunately, very, very sad. Very, very sad. I mean, anyone chases you out from your home, it is, I don't know what to say. It's like, my heart cries. In fact, heart really cries. So tell me, because you are a very learned lawyer, and everyone was talking very, very highly of you. People who I spoke to, and they were like, people highly recommended you or your name that he's very legally sound. One person who's very, very legally sound, and you've been a topper as well, I believe. So though you will play it modestly, and you'll say, no, 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 I know. I can see there's a smug on your face. So before you respond and try to playing it modestly, I didn't say the topper. I said one of the toppers, which is fine. Okay. And so tell me, there have been a lot of FIRs as well. I know people personally from both sides. Now
mhm.
there have been FIRs. So what could be the implications of those FIRs?
I believe the FIRs, the implications would be it has to be investigated. So the Supreme Court has formed their committee of three retired judges, and they've made one person, an ex former DGP of Maharashtra, to look to be in charge of overall in charge of the SITs and all. He's supposed to oversee those things. So and the Supreme Court is and they're supposed to submit reports to the Supreme Court in
Oh,
itself. So I
former
believe that's
DGP of Maharashtra is in charge
of overall looking after SITs and CBI's investigations and all.
in
As per
Manipur.
the Supreme, yeah, yeah, as per the Supreme Court order.
Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. Okay, fine.
They form
Because
they form the three-member committee, and then they uh, made that officer as well to be in charge of the whole thing. So the
now
three
I get it.
committees are supposed. So the
Because
three com. So the three committees are supposed to be, I would say, look after the rehabilitation, compensation, and those things. And I believe the former DGP is supposed to investigate into the FIRs and all. And I believe the Supreme Court also directed that the police personnel were involved in the involved in I would say supporting the accused and all. They are also supposed to be looked into, including the one with
understood.
the viral video as well, the sexual violence as well. They are supposed to look into that as per the Supreme Court order.
That explains to me about one thing. Recently, a few days back, I was live on a national television channel debate on Manipur, in fact, and there was former DGP of Maharashtra with us on the
Mhm,
panel. And
mhm,
this doubt was there in my mind that, with all due respect to his knowledge, his experience, his service, everything, I was thinking that how, say, a very senior Air Force officer, for example, there's no presence
mhm,
of Air Force or Navy in Manipur. There's
mhm.
BSF, there's Assam Rifles, there's CRPF, there's Rapid Action Force, then there's Army, the Manipur police, of course, is there. I was wondering what is the role of a very senior person from the police, from the IPS of a different state. or different cadre. That explains to me a lot of questions, in fact. So
Uh,
now,
and, and in fact, I believe they're supposed if they're supposed to be around from 5 different states on deputation as well uh, in Manipur. So it's the yeah, I believe the SITs and all form are by the Supreme Court is good at the very least because nothing has been happening for the past 3 months. So although I wouldn't say it's 100% satisfactory, but it's a start to bring in normalcy.
so tell me, if there's an FIR against one Mr. X, right? Then FIR on
Hmm.
him for talking something, say, or for whatever reason, say for giving a speech which was objectionable, and there's an
Huh.
FIR on him. Now, how
Hmm.
will what could be the implications, and does it mean if there's an FIR you would be arrested?
Uh, I would say arrests, especially with regards things like this, is very it's very I would say opinionated or something like that because police can arrest you for the simplest I would say FIR as well, and a police will decide not to arrest you for the harshest FIR as well. So it depends, I would say. I mean, I will just give an example. I will just say the Rahul Gandhi incident. Everyone knows what happened and what the outcome is anyway. So yeah, it's very difficult to give a perfect opinion on how a fire should be handled.
Understood. All right. All right.
I mean, but unless and if you are not doing any crime, if you have no, I don't really think you need to be. If you know you're speaking the truth, I believe on a fire we can take an FIR.
Right. So, in fact, there have been FIRs on people who have spoken on television from both the sides, on from the cookie side and from the Maite side as well. So,
Huh.
what could be the way out for them from, because they spoke something which was not which was perhaps okay by a lot of people, but for some person thought it was not right. He went and filed an FIR. So, what could be the implication for that?
I would again give you the Rahul Gandhi example.
Okay. All right. And is it easy to get a bail from an FIR?
Again, it just depends on the judge. There's no such thing as easy bail or difficult bail, but of course, if the crime is lesser and if it's uh, bailable and things like that, then it's much easier. But again, it depends. It depends on the judge or it depends on them.
Understood. So there is one on the front line in Manipur. There's a battle being fought over there. Unfortunately, I hope calm prevails. And on the other side, there's a legal battle as well. People they are firing. They are FIR against this community. Then the counter FIR. Like for example, recently there was an FIR. The Manipur police filed an FIR on the a fine force like the Assam Rifles. I've
Yeah,
served with the
yeah,
Assam
yeah.
Rifles, and never in history has it happened. A sister force filing. I think it was. I don't know what the reason, what the background is, but I personally, if you ask me, I think when a sister force filing an FIR on you, it shows so much of lack of trust over there. There's major trust deficit. Now, how, according to you, could be the suggestion to fill the trust deficit, Sam?
The trust deficit. I would say find the perpetrators. Once you find the perpetrators, be it from any community, I do not mind. I don't condone any kind of violence or hurting innocent people in any way. So I would say find the perpetrators uh, in whatever means necessary, and then we can move on after that. Because until and unless the perpetrators are caught, then it's difficult to progress. As I said, accountability is very, very much required in whatever form it may be. So without that
Right.
accountability, the peace is very, very difficult to attain because when you've got so many crimes happening, I would say, I mean, you can't talk about peace at this point. So first, that has to stop. That law and order has to be brought back. That's the first and foremost requirement.
Right, that's very, very sad. Now, what could be the a legal way of, what do you think? Like, because I strongly believe that both the communities should actually lay down the arms and they should lay down the weapons. They should come for a dialogue completely. Is there any way where one can establish that?
Again, it's very, very difficult to start a dialogue when you've got this many arms floating around. It's not like the dialogue will start and those 6,000 arms will suddenly start coming back. I mean, that's a very optimistic thing to say, I would say, because I don't think it would come back automatically. So I believe the one thing which I would say is, since there are so many guns, I would say a complete disarmament of each and every one.
Right,
Then uh, only once that happens, then of course, then people would at least relax that okay, tomorrow nobody is going to come attack my village. At least that mentality would exist at the very least when each and everyone has been disarmed. But
right.
when everyone is carrying arms and all, then it's very, very difficult to say okay, peace, 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 while there are like shootings and all happen.
Right. Yeah, because it's very sad to see people. In fact, at nights when youngsters, when they should be studying with books or pens in the hand, they have weapons. And at nights, sleeping luxuriously in the house, they are sleeping in bunkers, guarding their villages. They're taking on duty. It is, in fact, it's almost 11:15 at night, and you and I, we are here discussing at night. We should be sleeping actually, but people are concerned. People are really pained. And Sam, thank you very much for your time, brother. It's been so wonderful speaking to you, and you have really given some very, very good, insightful points to us. And before we part ways, and before we say good night, is there any last message you would like to throw out in the universe?
Help.
Sorry.
Yeah, help.
Help. Well said. That was brief, crisp, and to the point. Help. And most certainly, we all are, the whole nation is with Manipur, in fact. We all stand with Manipur. When I say Manipur, we say we are here for the truth, we are here for the humanity, we are here for all the tribes, communities, region, races, villages, areas, everyone. And we hope and pray genuinely from the bottom of my heart that peace prevails in Manipur very, very soon. God willing. Thank you,
Yeah,
Siam.
thank you.
Take
Yeah,
care.
thank
Good
you.
night, brother. Lots of love. Bye.
Thank you.
Just going